Hi, I'm James Blunt, and I'm over here to talk about my album Back to Bedlam.
Congratulations with that, because you're number 2 now in UK. I just heard.
Yeah,
Not the album, but the single.
And the album as well, actually.
Album,
yeah,
right.
so it's all been a bit amazing, really. It's taken on a life of its own. It's become a horrible monster.
Oh yeah, cool. Did you expect that?
No, not at all. I wrote these songs really, in the privacy of my own flat, and really wrote them for myself. They're very personal songs, and then my ambition was to make an album that I was really happy with, that collected all these songs I could just play to myself and say, yeah, that's the way I hear the songs in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was all I was really after. And then a few people started enjoying it and turning up to some shows and really connecting with it. And then they brought some friends down, and it kind of just grew like that. And it was really amazing, but I'm really enjoying it.
Cool. Let's go back to the beginning, because you in the bio says that you led a really heavy life already to like make a dozen albums, because you have like a big of you have experienced lots in your life to make more albums than this, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the future is only it will be the only telling as to how how it's worked or not. But yeah, I mean, I'm 28 now, and I did 4.5 years, just under 5 years in the army before this, and then time in a university and things like that. So, I don't know how much I'll have to write about, but I guess the biog is referring to my time in the army.
Okay. Why did you choose for the army?
My dad is a colonel in the army, flying helicopters, and then he kind of showed me that that's all he knew and understood. So showed me the ways that I could get in there, and then through university, the army offered me money to help pay for my tuition fees, and at the same time, I had to sign a contract with them saying if they help with the fees, then I will do 4 years in the army. So I took that option. It meant I could afford to go to university. The downside is that obviously I had to go and spend my time in the army, and that there's no really real way out of it. You could pay them the money back, but when you finish university, you don't have that money. So off I went and did that. But I'd always knew I was going to do music.
From what age? How old were you?
Well, I'd taken up musical instruments from a very early age. The violin when I was 5, the piano I took up when I was 7 and did grades, and lots of piano lessons. I found it really boring.
Piano.
But then when I got to school, I saw someone playing the electric guitar when I was about 14 years old, and I really wanted to play that. It looked much more fun than the piano lessons that I was having, and so I took that up and started having musical ideas. As soon as I was shown a few chords and things, ideas started coming to me, and it was just a really great way I found of expressing myself, and really decided from about 15 years old that I was going to be a musician.
Okay.
So then when I'd done my time in the army, it was never really a choice of to stay or go. It was just I really always knew that I was going to get out and do music.
Okay, because it was like you really wanted to do it.
Yeah, it was a dream, and life is too short to just have dreams and not follow them.
You could never expect like being so successful now, then, because this is your first album, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a bit mad to see what's going on.
That's really great. Could you tell something about the album, about the recording process, because it's recorded in 2003 already?
Yeah, that's right. I signed to an independent record label called Custard Records in Los Angeles, run by a woman called Linda Perry.
Yeah, who doesn't know her? From the Four Non Blondes, she did Pink and all those.
Yeah, exactly. Ones, yeah. And then, but creatively, she wasn't going to get involved. She said, she believed in what I was doing, so she just wanted to sign me to her label and let me do my thing. And then I set up a meeting to meet this guy called Tom Rothrock, who produced Elliott Smith's albums, which I'd really enjoyed the way these albums were produced. Mm-hmm. He'd also done Beck and Foo Fighters and Badly Drawn Boy, so he had pretty good credentials. And we met, and I was just immediately taken by how he didn't really have an ego. He didn't want to push his own style or his sound on my album. He wanted to drag out from me what I was trying to explain in conversation, and so I knew immediately that he was the right producer, the best producer I could have, particularly for a first album where it would be easy to be bullied into a corner and say, this is what you sound like. Yeah. And I had a clear understanding, but I needed someone with their experience to drag it out of me. So I moved out to Los Angeles, and
for how long?
We did this in 3.5 months,
okay,
and had a pretty good time.
Yeah, because I think it's the first time for you being there then?
I'd gone and visited Los Angeles before when I'd recorded some demos, but this is the longest I'd spent out there, and yeah, it's Hollywood. It was great fun. But
did it influence you, like writing wise, also?
No, I'd written all the album already out there.
Okay.
But for me, if you're gonna make
a new album,
yeah, if you're gonna make an album which you've been planning for a long time, it was just for me better to get out of London where I lived, and go and do something special. It's something I've been talking about and dreaming about and planning for years. And so it was good to go to somewhere completely alien to me and become completely immersed in the whole recording process and living the album.
Okay, cool. And now the single "You're Beautiful" is number 2.
Yeah, that's
is that single there also.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, it's again a bit over my head. I didn't really expect it to do so well. I was kind of expecting to tell my friends and family, well, about number 25, we're happy with that. And expecting to say, well, it's not. I'm not in it for the singles. It's really all about the album. There are 10 songs on here which are just as important as each other. And so yeah, it went in at number 16 and then, or number 12, I think, and then rose to number 6, and then went up to number 2, which again. One just doesn't expect singles to go up nowadays. So
not in the English charts, but come on, that's like every week there's another one, number 1. Every week there's a new top 10.
Yeah, exactly that. It just changes around and everything. You come in at whatever position and then you sink from there and go down.
To hype everything always there.
So
what I heard, and what I read.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So for it to go up and for it to then be staying up is really strange. And it's all great.
Cool. Hey, let's talk about a bit, if you want, about the army, because you've been to Kosovo for some time.
Yeah, that's right.
You were a colonel or officer? Officer you were.
I was an officer. I was a lieutenant out there, and I finished up being a captain. And I spent 6 months in Kosovo, some of it on the Macedonia-Kosovo border during the '99 bombing campaign.
How was that?
Pretty miserable.
Yeah. Was it like a war situation constantly?
Yeah, it was a bomb during the bombing campaign, and I was working as a reconnaissance officer on the border itself. And then after a month and a half of that, we signed a peace accord with them, and we moved the Serb army back into Serbia proper, and we filled that power vacuum.
Okay. So, and that experience could you use for writing the album?
Yeah, I think any kind of life experiences will affect your outlook on life. So yeah, absolutely, I do refer to those kind of songs, those events during certain songs that I'm writing now. But this album really has just got one song that has a song about Kosovo, and it's called "No Bravery." It's the last song on the album. And that just directly explains the kind of things that we were seeing out there. Yeah,
when you hear the song, you will know directly what it is about, I think.
Yeah, and that took very little time to write. It took about 10 minutes because all the ingredients for the song were just in front of us.
Yeah. Is it easy for you to write songs about personal things?
Yeah, I really write about personal things as a matter of course, because it's just songs and music are a way I find I can express myself.